Little House on the Prairie wasn't just a television series, it was a piece of our childhood, a peaceful haven on screen where stories of family, humanity, and compassion were woven into every frame. But time waits for no one, and the faces that once touched our hearts have quietly left this world. In today's video, we pay tribute to 11 beloved actors from Little House on the Prairie, those who not only gave the show its soul, but also left a lasting mark on audiences across generations. Can you guess who appears first on the list? Stay with us until the end, because the final name might just bring a tear to your eye. Steve Tracy as Percival Dalton. He may not have been a mainstay throughout the entire series, but Steve Tracy's portrayal of Percival Dalton, the husband of Nellie Oleson, made an unforgettable impact on Little House on the Prairie fans. Introduced in Season 6, Percival entered the show as a strict, no-nonsense businessman hired by Harriet Oleson to turn her daughter Nellie into a capable restaurant manager. What followed, however, was a beautiful transformation, both for the character and for Nellie herself. Initially portrayed as stern and by the book, Percival's character soon revealed a softer, more compassionate side. His unlikely romance with the spoiled and often insufferable Nellie blossomed into one of the show's most endearing love stories. Their on-screen wedding and eventual journey into parenthood allowed Steve Tracy to showcase a surprising emotional depth, evolving Percival into a gentle, devoted husband and father. Much of the success of this storyline was due to Steve's compelling chemistry with Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie. Off-screen, the two shared a deep and supportive friendship, which added an authentic spark to their performances. Fans still recall their scenes together with warmth and nostalgia, crediting their dynamic for softening Nellie's character and adding emotional nuance to the show's later seasons. Tragically, Steve Tracy's life was cut short. He passed away on November 27, 1986, due to complications from AIDS at the young age of 34. His death came during a time when the AIDS epidemic was highly stigmatized, and yet his bravery and talent continue to inspire admiration. Though his time on Little House was relatively brief, Steve Tracy's portrayal of Percival Dalton remains one of the most beloved aspects of the series. His legacy lives on in every heartfelt scene, a testament to a talent taken far too soon. Queenie Smith as Mrs. Sims. With a timeless grace and poise that only comes from decades in show business, Queenie Smith brought a rare elegance to Little House on the Prairie in her role as Mrs. Sims, the gentle and dignified mother of the schoolteacher, Miss Beadle. Though her screen time was brief, her presence added a warm, nostalgic depth to the fabric of Walnut Grove, reminding audiences of a bygone era. Queenie's portrayal of Mrs. Sims was subtle yet deeply touching. Her every scene was imbued with a quiet wisdom and maternal tenderness, elevating the emotional texture of the show. She wasn't just a background character. She was a bridge between generations, embodying values of kindness, respect, and quiet strength. What many viewers may not know is that Queenie Smith was already a Hollywood veteran when she joined the Little House cast. Born on September 8, 1898, she began her career during the silent film era, training in both ballet and stage acting. She appeared in Broadway productions in the 1920s and 1930s before transitioning to film, including memorable roles in classics like Showboat and The Reluctant Dragon. Her versatility extended to television, where she continued to take on roles well into the 1970s. Beyond acting, Queenie was also known as a dedicated drama coach and mentor to younger actors in her later years. Her legacy wasn't just what she did on screen, it was also the influence she left behind in the industry. Queenie Smith passed away on August 5, 1978, at the age of 79, leaving behind a legacy rich with artistic devotion and timeless charm. Through her portrayal of Mrs. Sims, she brought the sophistication of old Hollywood to Little House on the Prairie, and her contribution continues to be remembered with deep affection by both fans and fellow actors alike. Merlin Olsen as Jonathan Garvey. With his towering frame and gentle eyes, Merlin Olsen brought to life Jonathan Garvey, one of the most dependable and beloved characters in Little House on the Prairie. As a devoted father, loyal friend, and committed member of the Walnut Grove community, Garvey embodied the values of strength, compassion, and moral integrity, qualities that mirrored Merlin Olsen's own real-life character. Originally known to the world as a professional football player, Merlin Olsen was a Hall of Fame defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams and part of the legendary Fearsome Foursome in the 1960s and 1970s. But it was his transition into acting that surprised and charmed fans. He joined Little House on the Prairie in 1977, and despite his athletic background, Olsen showed remarkable sensitivity and depth in his role as Jonathan Garvey, a farmer facing life's many trials with quiet resilience and love for his family. After Little House, Merlin continued his collaboration with Michael Landon by starring in Father Murphy, a series centered on an orphanage and the kind-hearted man pretending to be a priest to protect the children. His performance further cemented his reputation as a gentle soul who used his imposing presence not to intimidate, but to comfort and inspire. Outside of television, Merlin Olsen became a renowned sports commentator, lending his insightful voice to NFL broadcasts for NBC and later CBS. Beyond the spotlight, he was deeply involved in philanthropy, most notably with the Children's Miracle Network, which he helped promote and support for decades. Merlin Olsen passed away from mesothelioma, a rare and aggressive form of cancer, on March 11, 2010, at the age of 69. His death was mourned by fans from both the sports and entertainment worlds, a testament to the wide-reaching impact of his life. Michael Landon as Charles Ingalls. It's impossible to speak of Little House on the Prairie without honoring the man who was its beating heart. Michael Landon, who portrayed the iconic Charles Ingalls, the devoted father, husband, and pillar of strength for the Ingalls family. More than just the star of the show, Landon was its creative force, serving as lead actor, writer, director, and executive producer throughout much of the series' run. His fingerprints are on every frame, and his vision shaped the timeless appeal of the show. Before Little House, Landon had already become a household name thanks to his role as Little Joe Cartwright on Bonanza, one of the most beloved westerns in American television history. And after Little House, he continued to uplift audiences with the heartfelt series Highway to Heaven, where he played an angel sent to Earth to help people in need. In each role, Michael Landon exuded warmth, sincerity, and hope. Tragically, Michael Landon passed away from pancreatic cancer on July 1, 1991, at the young age of 54. His death sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and left a profound sense of loss among fans who had grown up watching him guide the Ingalls family through life's trials with dignity and grace. Richard Bull as Nels Olsen. Who could forget Nels Olsen, the long-suffering yet endlessly patient husband of the sharp-tongued and scheming Harriet Olsen? In a household filled with melodrama and mischief, Nels served as the calm in the storm, a man of dignity, humility, and unexpected humor. It was Richard Bull who brought this beloved character to life with a performance that was both deeply nuanced and subtly powerful. Richard Bull, a seasoned actor with a long career in film and television, portrayed Nels with quiet grace and emotional intelligence. On Little House on the Prairie, while Harriet, played by Catherine McGregor, often dominated scenes with her over-the-top antics, Nels counterbalanced her with understatement and dry wit. He didn't just play the role of a foil, he gave Nels a humanity that resonated deeply with viewers. His expressions of frustration, his reluctant compromises, and his rare but meaningful moments of rebellion made him incredibly relatable and real. Before joining Little House, Bull had appeared in numerous television series, including Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Mission, Impossible, and Perry Mason. But it was his portrayal of Nels Olson that cemented his place in television history. His chemistry with the cast, especially McGregor, created some of the most memorable and endearing moments on the show. Whether he was confronting injustice in Walnut Grove or offering quiet support to his children and neighbors, Nels became a symbol of resilience and integrity in the face of everyday chaos. Richard Bull passed away on February 3, 2014, at the age of 89. Though not always in the spotlight, his portrayal of Nels Olson was one of the emotional anchors of Little House on the Prairie. He reminded us that kindness, patience, and quiet strength are just as heroic as grand gestures, and that even in the background, a gentle heart can shine the brightest. Kathryn McGregor as Harriet Olson. If you ever found yourself rolling your eyes or shaking your head at Harriet Olson's snobbish remarks and outrageous schemes, then you were witnessing the brilliant work of Kathryn McGregor. As the delightfully over-the-top antagonist of Little House on the Prairie, Harriet brought a unique flavor to the series, one that was as essential as it was infuriating. With her sharp tongue, exaggerated airs of superiority, and relentless meddling in Walnut Grove's affairs, Harriet was the character viewers loved to hate. But behind the ruffled bonnets and piercing stares was a talented actress who poured heart, intelligence, and impeccable comic timing into every scene. Kathryn McGregor didn't just play a villain, she created a complex, unforgettable woman who was sometimes annoying, occasionally hilarious, and strangely endearing. Before her rise to fame on Little House, Kathryn had already built a strong career in theater and television. She studied under the legendary acting teacher Sanford Meisner and performed with reputable theater companies across the U.S. On screen, she made appearances in shows like Mannix, Emergency, and All in the Family. However, it was her portrayal of Harriet Olson that would define her legacy and secure her place in TV history. Kathryn McGregor passed away on November 13, 2018, at the impressive age of 93. Her legacy lives on in the character of Harriet Olson, a role that continues to entertain and provoke audiences decades later. While she may have played the town's most irritating busybody, Kathryn's performance was nothing short of iconic. She showed us that even the most outrageous characters can have a lasting, meaningful place in our hearts. Kevin Hagen as Doc Hiram Baker. Every small town has a figure who quietly holds everything together, a calm, steady presence who brings comfort when things fall apart. In Little House on the Prairie, that person was Doc Hiram Baker, brought to life with gentle wisdom and quiet dignity by Kevin Hagen. As the town physician, Doc Baker wasn't just a man of medicine, he was a symbol of reassurance. He delivered babies, healed broken bones, tended to fevers, and, most importantly, listened. Whenever a crisis hit Walnut Grove, Doc Baker was there. Not just with a doctor's bag, but with empathy, patience, and a steady hand. Kevin Hagen's portrayal of Hiram Baker wasn't flashy, but it was deeply felt. He made the character trustworthy, kind, and above all, real. His understated performance gave the show emotional balance, especially when chaos erupted around other characters. Whether it was comforting a sick child, counseling grieving parents, or simply sitting quietly with a worried patient, Doc Baker's presence felt like a warm blanket over the show's many dramatic moments. Before his time on Little House, Kevin Hagen had a prolific career in television. He appeared in over 250 series episodes across different genres, with roles in shows like Perry Mason, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, MASH, and The Twilight Zone. His ability to transform into different characters made him a dependable guest star throughout the golden age of TV. But it was Little House on the Prairie that gave him his most beloved role. Off-screen, Hagen was known for his humility and love of storytelling. After retiring from acting, he often participated in Little House reunions and fan conventions, sharing fond memories and expressing his gratitude for the role that defined his career. Tragically, Kevin Hagen passed away on July 9, 2005, from complications related to esophageal cancer at the age of 77. His loss was felt deeply by fans and co-stars alike, who remembered him not just for his role, but for the gentle kindness he carried in real life. Dabbs Greer as Reverend Robert Alden. In the heart of Little House on the Prairie stood a humble man whose soft voice and unwavering faith brought hope to the people of Walnut Grove. That man was Reverend Robert Alden, portrayed with timeless grace by Dabbs Greer. As the town's minister, Reverend Alden wasn't just a figurehead behind a pulpit. He was a moral compass, a compassionate listener, and a steady source of comfort in times of despair. Whether officiating weddings, guiding the townspeople through loss, or gently reminding them of forgiveness and kindness, Alden's presence anchored the community. With his kind eyes and quiet demeanor, Greer gave Reverend Alden a depth of humanity that transcended the screen. Dabbs Greer was a veteran actor with a career that spanned over 5 decades. Born in 1917 in Missouri, Greer began acting in his youth and became one of Hollywood's most reliable and recognizable character actors. He appeared in more than 300 film and television roles, from The Twilight Zone and Gunsmoke to The Andy Griffith Show, The Dick Van Dyke Show, Bonanza, The Brady Bunch, and The Rifleman. He even played the iconic role of the older Paul Edgecombe in the Oscar-nominated film The Green Mile, opposite Tom Hanks. Yet despite his vast body of work, it was Reverend Alden who remained one of his most cherished roles. Appearing in more than 100 episodes of Little House on the Prairie, Greer imbued the character with sincerity and humility. His sermons, never forceful, always gentle, touched hearts and carried messages of love, tolerance, and faith that resonated far beyond the screen. Greer passed away on April 28, 2007, at the age of 90, from kidney and heart failure. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. Reverend Alden remains a symbol of the quiet strength that faith and compassion can offer in the most difficult times. Victor French as Isaiah Edwards. Isaiah Edwards, tough on the outside but soft-hearted inside, was the closest friend of Charles Ingalls. Victor French brought depth to this character with sincerity and strength. His humor and straightforwardness balanced out the intense moments in the show. Behind his rough exterior was a heart full of sacrifice and love. Victor French passed away on June 15, 1989, at the age of 54 from lung cancer. His death was a significant loss not only for Little House on the Prairie but also for Michael Landon, his close friend in real life. Charlotte Stewart as Eva Beadle. Charlotte Stewart played Eva Beadle, the first teacher in the Walnut Grove School. Every word she spoke was gentle and profoundly educational, without ever being imposing. Charlotte was one of the first to be associated with the show, and her role was the ideal image of a teacher. Strict, compassionate, and dedicated. Charlotte Stewart passed away at the age of 81 in 2024 after a long battle with illness. She remains a symbol of gentleness both on screen and in life, embodying the role of a perfect teacher. Jonathan Gilbert as Willie Olson. The mischievous Willie Olson, brother of Nellie, made viewers both frustrated and sympathetic. Jonathan Gilbert, the real-life adopted son of Melissa Gilbert, left Hollywood early and lived a reclusive life after the show ended. Jonathan did not pursue acting further, and his private life became a mystery. However, in 2021, reports confirmed that he passed away at the age of 54 due to an unknown accident. A quiet end to a lively childhood on screen. Little House on the Prairie was not just a television show. It was a place where ordinary people created a world filled with deep emotions. The actors, whether major or minor, have etched their images into the hearts of viewers. Their passing leaves us with a sense of loss, but also reminds us that their spiritual legacy transcends time. Though they may have passed on, their roles and spirits live on in every frame, every memory. Which of these names do you remember most? Share your feelings in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep the memories of Little House on the Prairie alive.